Welcome to the Explainer. So you know that feeling when you're staring at a skincare label and it's just packed with all these scientific buzzwords and you're just like, what does any of this actually mean? Trust me, you are definitely not alone there. Today, we're cutting right through all that marketing jargon. We're going to reveal the real science behind an absolute heavy hitter in the skincare world, ceramics. By the end of our time together, you're going to have this really sharp mental model of what they are, why they actually matter, and how to separate the real science from the hype. Let's just dive right in.
Okay, to start making sense of this whole ceramide thing, I want you to ask yourself a surprisingly simple question. Why does your skin actually hold together in the first place? I mean, think about it. Imagine your skin as a brick wall. The skin cells themselves, those are the individual bricks. But a loose stack of bricks doesn't magically make a waterproof, functional wall, right? You absolutely need something vital to fill in those gaps. So, today, we're going to look really closely at that invisible mortar that prevents your wall from leaking, from weakening, and from feeling super fragile to the touch.
And that invisible mortar? Well, that brings us to our core definition. Ceramides are, simply put, natural skin lipids, or fats, that act as your skin's built-in sealing system. Their whole job is to keep those cells tightly packed together. Now, because they're lipids, they intentionally don't mix well with water, which is exactly what makes them the perfect barrier. They are structural necessities that actually live right there in the outer layer of your skin. They aren't just some trendy new addition a brand decided to toss into a moisturizer, you know? They are a fundamental, absolute must-have part of your skin's architecture.
So, looking at the basics here, ceramides have a highly specific, really important job. They help seal and organize that outer skin layer. Their main objective? Keeping all the good, essential moisture locked inside and keeping all the harmful, irritating stuff locked outside. You can kind of think of them like a highly effective security gate. A really good gate doesn't just block a road completely, right? It selectively lets the right things stay safely inside while making sure the environmental stressors stay firmly outside where they belong.
But here's the thing. Ceramides don't just act as a single, isolated hero ingredient. They don't work alone. Instead, they actually work within a larger lipid team to create that cohesive seal. You have your ceramides providing the core structure, you've got cholesterol offering flexibility, and then fatty acids are there filling in the remaining gaps. Imagine a beautifully tiled bathroom floor. The ceramides are the vital grout and sealant holding those tiles together. But without the flexible materials around it, the whole system gets compromised. Your skin's health really relies on this entire team working together.
Now, you might be wondering, if our skin naturally makes these lipids, why are we constantly hearing about how we need to replenish them? Well, while our skin does manufacture them, our everyday habits just wear them down. Things like frequent overwashing, using harsh products, environmental stress, and honestly, just the natural aging process, all of these completely deplete your ceramide levels. Think of a gorgeous wooden table that's been treated with a protective wax. With daily use, that wax just wears away. The table is obviously still wood, but suddenly it's so much more exposed and way more easily stained. When your ceramides drop, your essential defenses are down. And this specific dynamic leads us to a really common and frankly frustrating point of confusion: oily but tight skin. Have you ever felt like your face is super shiny, maybe producing all this excess oil, but underneath it still feels uncomfortably tight or dehydrated? Yeah, a shiny surface absolutely does not mean you have a sealed barrier. Let's go back to our analogies for a second. You can totally have a shiny, oiled kitchen counter, but if the grout between the tiles is cracked, water's still going to seep right away into all the wrong places. Just having oil sitting on the surface does not automatically mean your skin's outer layer is well sealed and structurally organized.
When that seal actually breaks, we enter this really frustrating cycle of damage. First, water escapes way too easily, which leaves the skin visibly dry and rough. Then, because it lacks its protective wall, the surface becomes highly reactive and super sensitive. And then what do? In a complete panic, we typically over-cleanse, or we throw even stronger active ingredients at it to try and fix the problem, which, you guessed it, just weakens the barrier even further. It's this literal constant loop of damage. But the really good news here is that replenishing your ceramides helps actively interrupt this cycle. It gives your skin the actual structural materials it needs to finally stabilize.
Day to day, your ceramides behave incredibly dynamically depending on exactly what your skin is going through. They aren't just some static coat of paint. They are an ongoing, active maintenance crew. In healthy skin, they just quietly maintain the seal, no fuss. But if you've overwashed, they are suddenly working overtime to restore that depleted structure. And in sensitive, leaky skin, their primary job shifts to reducing vulnerability. It is literally constant upkeep, ensuring that the architecture of your skin remains fully organized and secure no matter what you throw at it. All of this brings us to a vital distinction you'll definitely want to remember the next time you're shopping for skincare: surface moisture versus barrier support. Surface moisture is really just a temporary fix. It feels wet, sure, but it is entirely superficial. It's kind of like throwing a bucket of water onto a leaky, cracked floor. Yeah, it looks wet for a second, but all that water is just going to naturally escape again. Barrier support, on the other hand, that provides true structural resilience. It actively keeps the moisture in by ensuring the lasting organization of your skin cells. When a product truly supports your barrier, it's actually repairing the underlying leaks, not just temporarily adding more water to the surface.
Which perfectly leads us to this exact quote, straight from our source material: "Support means helping skin recover its own structure, not replacing skin with a new one." I absolutely love this because it is such a grounded, empowering takeaway. Healthy skin isn't about punishing your face or pushing it harder with all these aggressive active ingredients to completely transform it into something totally new overnight. It's really just about calmly, gently, and consistently supporting its natural architecture.
So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this final kind of provocative question to think about. Look at your vanity right now. Go on, picture it. Are your products making flashy surface promises, or are they actually supporting the wall? After everything we've covered today, I really hope you feel much harder to confuse. The next time you evaluate a skincare label, you won't just see a trendy buzzword. You're going to see the quiet, incredible system that fundamentally helps your skin hold together. Thank you so much for exploring this with me on The Explainer.